Jani walked into our gym, and she was so determined, such a fighter. She was participating in The Biggest Loser, and she wanted so badly to better herself. But she was so giving and so loving to everybody in that gym. Everybody loved her. She had such a spirit about her, as all of you have said. And her husband, Darren, is such a sweetheart. When I had trouble with my aqua massage, he came over and helped me fix it. Took time to come. She came with him a time or two, even when she was still getting pretty bad. But she was so precious, and she was always trying to heal, trying to help others. And I just had to get up and say that, and I'm so appreciative of getting to know her and you and the family. And please feel free to call me anytime, okay? All right.
Hi, I'm Bob Dalecki, and I got to know Jan as a sister-in-law. And I got to see the relationship between my wife and Jani. And as you all know, she's a very different person. She's very unique, extremely creative, unconventional, and an open person. And I'm a little stiff-necked and got the tie and all of that, a little bit conventional. It took me a long time to understand Jani and who she was. And one day, it's funny that you mentioned the Thumbelina story, because Tina always would mention Thumbelina every once in a while. Or if it was Christmas time, she would think about Thumbelina or something like that. And then I guess it was about maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I'll say I had my Thumbelina moment when I just learned how to love Jan like I never did before. When I saw when I really recognized the love of the two sisters together. And I knew that since I loved my wife so much, I had to love Jani just as much, because they were that connected. So I did. They were my girls. I remember one time at El Tiempo restaurant, I just put my arms around my two girls. And Jan was just part of me. And the other day, the morning after, I realized, we found out she passed away, and Tina had come up here, and I had to stay behind. And I woke up, and all these thoughts were rushing through my head about Jan. And then Jan was like, in a way, like all of us. I realized that, she had gone through a lot of trials in her life, and she was very loving, but she had this hole inside of her, and we all have one. I think hers was a little bigger. And, but because of that, she learned something that some of us go through a whole life and never learn. That the only way to fill that hole is to share your love with other people. And she became excellent at it. Absolutely excellent at it. And some of us, and I was somebody like that, who was afraid of your own hole inside of you. You don't know how to accept that love in the beginning. You want to stay away from it. You want to reject it. Until you realize that you need to have that love yourself. And that's what Jan did. She was kind of like the canary in the coal mine when it came to love. Because if there was love around, you could tell by Jan that there was love around. If there wasn't love around, you could tell by Jan that there wasn't. And she was very often the first sign that something was lacking. And it took me a long time to understand that about her. And I think that's pretty much a story of all of our lives. I mean, if we could take that one thing from Jan and understand that ourselves, it would be the biggest blessing we could ever have. Because she wasn't packaged the way everybody expects things to be packaged in life. But yet, she had one of the most profound loves that you would ever run into. There wasn't much that made her happy except being loved and being recognized and cared for and having the opportunity to do that for other people. There were many times when she could receive an expensive gift and then a Walmart special. Right? And you come back to her house a year later and you wouldn't see the expensive gift, but the Walmart special would be on the kitchen table. So for her, it didn't matter. What it was all about was the person that she was with, the person that she was thinking about, the person that she might meet the next day. And me, of all people, I would never thought that I would have realized about her those things. But thank God I did. And I hope we can all take that away today with us. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Marilyn. I have a daughter named Jessica. She asked me to come up and say something for her because she's too upset to come. But, gosh, this is hard, isn't it? But I wanted you to know that she really made a big difference in my daughter's life. Because in the last year, she's been kind of stuck at home because she aged out from school. She had nobody to talk to, no friends. And then Jani, when she came to church, she was so kind to her. She gave her little gifts and, little fairies. Now I know why. But when Jessica went, I had to put her into a group home so that she could have a nice life. And Jani kept sending her little gifts. And she's such a wonderful, loving person. And I know you all know that, but I had to get up here and let you know that Jessica also wanted to thank you so much for her love.